Hello, hello everybody. Can you believe December 1st? Now I am going to do my very best on trying to get through this quick because I haven't even done my orders today. But I stopped to make sure that the first thing I do this morning is this video for you. So I wanted to show you it rained. Look at the buckets of water. Gary lined it up so it catches it off the roof. And we have water to maybe start some seedlings and just water to have to just throw onto some plants. He also has some barrels, so I believe he dumps a lot of this into these large barrels. So he has that as excess water, but we got a lot of rain. Here's the front yard. I'm still working on it, so I'm not going to do a big thing on it. As you can see, I've been talking about this in all my other videos. I've got one solar pump on here right now. I've been starting to feed the birds. Really, I'm setting up all the containers. So the containers right now have not been really planted in. I've got a few things, and like here is my purple mustard that is in a container, and I just sat it in there, and the roots have left that container, and the seedlings are starting to take off, which I have to cover because the rabbits will eat it. Then I've got some red vein sorrel. I've got actually zucchini growing in here right now, which was kind of a surprise for this time of the year. See, there's zucchini in there. That's actually growing in another pot. So everything is pots that were sitting on top of the compost bins because I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. But like I've explained so many times, the feeder roots will leave the pots, go into the compost, the containers that I'm composting in, the kitchen scraps and everything go in there, and they'll feed off of that and they'll grow really good. Even this, they haven't really set anything up. Nothing new from 2 weeks ago, but the lettuce is growing good. I keep harvesting lots of romaine lettuce off of that. It doesn't look like much, but it really does give us quite a bit of lettuce, and that's the baby walking onions, and I haven't put anything in that yet. Like I said, this time of the year until December 24th, I'm just running crazy. So anyways, that's the front yard. We'll work on this later on. I've got some beans coming up in there. I pushed some beans in there. I've got beans coming up, I think, in here. I keep saying beans because I walk around with beans in my pocket and I shove it in things and then they grow. See? More green beans are green beans. But the seeds are from my yard, so they're really used to this climate. All I have to do is push them in the ground or push them in some soil and they take off and grow. So, the basil's still growing, and this poor tomato plant is pretty much done. I'm not taking it out. I'll end up cutting it back and seeing what happens in the spring. A lot of times the same tomato plant will come back and grow beautiful. This fig tree, I think I have a home for it. This is just a little stick I pulled off a fig tree that I like, put it in a pot, and rooted it. That's how easy it is. It's just nothing to propagate that. So I'm trying to figure out where I want to put it because I want to make sure I put it in a place that I'm really happy with. Then of course this is my ginger, stevia, and turmeric. This is all ready to harvest, so I hope to get something soon together to show you how I harvest it and plant it. Because some people said they wanted to see more on how to plant it. I just basically take the chunks and where there's a little knob, cut it off and plant that back in a pot, but I'll get a video together on that and actually show how I do it. But right now this is my table that I'm growing the ginger and the turmeric in. It grows perfect here, so I'm not going to change it. This will probably permanently stay that way. And then of course the stevia all went to seed. I still have plenty of leaves in there. I'm still making tea when I remember. Look how bad my skin looks. Haven't made tea in a week. Shame on me. I've just been literally running 24/7. But anyways, this is the table and this is where it's going to be. Okay, now let's go into my main garden. And yes, we've been collecting some water here. And Gary's been moving the pots. So as he has these get filled, he must be moving them over. I actually didn't even come out here yesterday. So he's just moving them over so I have the water that I can dip in. And I've got a really cool watering can, see, like that, and this is just perfect. I can just dip it in and then I can water my plants. And so it's good if you have something like that, and you can just go back and water what you want to water. So you don't even have to get your hands wet, just dipped it in. But that's what we're doing here. Again, nothing new has been planted. Oh, look at all the tomatoes. Look at the tomatoes. We are getting hundreds of tomatoes. We seem to get more tomatoes in the fall, and it's been so cold. It's been getting down. I gotta be careful when I say this because I'm gonna have people that are really angry. We've been getting down to 50 at night. And so that to us is cold. But just tomatoes, they seem to really like it. And these brown berries do really, really well here. And this is a massive plant that's growing in one of my compost bins. See how a lot of my plants, let me see if I can get you in here, are still in containers? See the flower pots? Because I don't bother doing anything with it. I just drop them on top of my compost bins, a lot of them, and they send out their feeder roots and just take off, and then they end up into this massive plant because it's the feeder roots that are feeding the plant. You just don't move the pot. Once the plants set root into your compost bins, if you want to keep that plant, you do not move it. Now here's that dinosaur kale. It broke off of my big dinosaur plant and just stuck it in the ground or in that pot there, and it's just doing beautiful. I actually pulled leaves off this morning for breakfast on this. So that's doing really good. Walking onions look a little droopy. It's cool, but they're still going good. I mean, they'll continue to grow. See, it's thinned down in here, but I've been throwing different things in here now. I'm starting to throw kitchen scraps and things in here, so I'll have it ready for the spring. Let's see. My Popolo has not opened yet. They probably won't open until we get some good, warm, sunny days. And yes, even here in the winter, we're not quite winter, but we will be in 3 weeks, they will open on a warm day. So they haven't opened yet. So none of mine have set seed. But that's what's going on here. There is the cutting I did. Let's see if we can get in here. See the cutting I did? Okay. Sorry if I'm moving you around too much with the camera. That's the mushroom plant. I did that cutting, I think less than a month ago. Let me swing over here slowly. Off my mushroom plant, just stuck it in a container in the ground, and it's not going to stay there. I just put it there. And just by doing cuttings and putting it in a pot, they're growing. So I know it's easy to propagate them. They're doing really good. And here's sprouting broccoli that's growing. You've seen all this. You can look at my past videos and see it. Peppers are growing. My orange peppers, baby bells, orange, grown from seed. That was grown from seed. Mushroom plant was bought at the nursery, and that's doing really good. I have one in here, and I've got one over there. Let's see what else. So lemon verbena, still going strong, which is good. I don't know when it's going to lose its leaves, but there's a time where it goes dormant, probably when we get really cold in the winter. So it will lose its leaves. Peppers have pretty much here lost their leaves, but the peppers are there. These are the ones that I have to be careful handling. Look at a can of walking mushroom. I just took a can, threw some soil in it, and started collecting all the baby walking onions. So I put it in there. They're doing okay. That's dill trying to grow. Probably too cold. Oh, I heard a thump. It might be thunder. Celery, there's my other Popolo. See, the seeds have not opened yet. So hopefully they'll open before the plant dies back. So I'll get a few more seeds. But I'm growing these from older seeds, so the seeds seem to last for years. There's my strawberry spinach. Really hasn't done anything. Green sorrel and the tomatillo that died back. And I really should just, well, like I said, when I have time, I'll trim things up and replant. And celery. I have celery all over my garden because it reseeds itself. And there is some curly kale that broke off in the storm we had. And I stuck it right now in a pot of water because I think I'm going to trim it all back and see if I can get that stalk to root. I don't know if it will, but I'm going to try it because I like it. It's really big and tall. So it'd be like a little curly kale tree. Okay, let's back up here. Let's see. Like I said, tomatoes are growing really good. And then, of course, the kale is all doing good. The kale is beautiful. It's this rich green blue color. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? This is like the best time of the year for all your kale. The kale really likes the cool weather because we're getting into mid-60s during the day and then about 50 at night. The mint, as you can see, this is orange mint, has all died back. It's pretty much dying back. There's still enough mint. Oh, that one covered here is a strawberry mint. Oh, that's doing really good. I don't drink that stuff. It smells good, but I don't drink it. So the strawberry mint under the basket's doing good. I think, let me see. Smells like chocolate mint. So my chocolate mint here on top is doing good still. And then I do have some orange mint up here. See how it's off the ground? The mint off the ground is doing better, but the ones on the ground have died back. Then I'm just trying to sprout some things in here, root some things. There's some cuttings of, I believe it's sprouting broccoli, and there might be some collard in there. I covered it so the rabbits wouldn't eat it. Gary moved some water over here. Probably he caught it, you know, from the roof. And then this whole field here, this is my sprouting broccoli, and it's just going so good. I come out here every day and snap off so much and just eat it raw. So that's just been perfect to come out. And of course back there, let me see if I can show you the big leaves. See the big leaf? That's the purple sprouting broccoli. I'm starting to wonder if there's really such a thing. It's great, the leaves. They're perfect for juicing anything you want to put greens in, eggs, anything, soup. It's perfect, the leaves, but I have yet to get a single purple broccoli. I haven't gotten any broccoli heads on it. I know somebody told me it won't do it until spring. That's interesting because it's over a year old. But the plant's going strong, so I'm not complaining. It's still food. Again, this is my old collard plants. And these are the ones I bought at the 99-cent store. It came in a little container. There were like 4 plants. I think I bought 2 containers or something, planted them around, and they're everywhere. These are the hybrids. These are seeds that came up, and I think they crossed with my sprouting broccoli, so it's kind of like half collard, half broccoli. This particular one grows a elongated leaf instead of, well, I don't have, let's see, instead of the really round leaf. See the difference? So this is more collard. See this broccoli? Isn't that beautiful? They're all over. Some of the heads are bigger. Let's see, I had a bigger head. Let me show you. That was the bigger head, and that's the one that I snap those off and just eat them all day. I would snap off this too and eat it. I mean, we just eat them all day, but there's broccoli all through here. And then of course, if you let it go, it turns into seeds, you know, yellow flowers, and then the birds eat it. So it works all the way around. But that one came up from seed, and that one actually is throwing pretty good sprouting broccoli, even though I knew it was somewhat of a hybrid, because what happened was my collard and my sprouting broccoli were flowering at the same time. And that's when they'll cross-pollinate, so you'll end up with different plants. Dazzling blue kale. You've seen the video. What I did right there is I dug a hole, dumped kitchen scraps and everything in the hole until I was happy I had enough, covered it up, put a pot on top, and look at this kale. It's tree. It's like a tree collard. Well, a tree kale. Isn't that something? So you can compost in place in the ground, no turning. Dig a hole, bury it. Put wood chips on top, put some soil on top, whatever you want, right next to the plants you want to, you know, give extra food and nutrition to, and it works beautiful. Let's see what's going on here. This is the pepinos. They're starting to flower again. We've already picked all of ours. We've got beans coming up in here. This is just a cutting of a tomato plant I like. And I had to cover it because the rabbits were getting in here. So for now, I'm covering it. The rabbits change as the rain comes in and weed seeds start to grow around the property, not necessarily here. They'll change their eating habits so they don't bother the garden as much. Right now, they, you know, found certain things they like. Like, see, the squirrels come in and they ate up my green kale there. I'm sorry, my green Swiss chard they ate up there. See how they've taken every leaf off? The squirrels get in there. I have seen them, and they'll eat it, but there's so much, so I don't really bother with that right now. But they will change their eating habit. This whole thing will be changed. This is that tomato plant that I staked up, and what I want you to see here is look at all the masking tape. You see the masking tape? The plant is pretty much gone, but the masking tape is still holding the plant. I've got masking tape that's 6 months old. I just love the masking. I just couldn't garden without it. I was so disgusted trying to stake up all my tomatoes. And this works so perfect for me. I mean, you just have to try it and see if you like it. Look at all the birds. The whole garden is full of birds. But it works for me. Yeah, some of it's going to let loose, probably because I didn't put it on right or didn't put it on good. But all in all, it held the plant longer than the plant lasted. Again, I'm not going to do anything in here because if it comes back from the base, the lower part of the trunk of the tomato plant, it could just take off. It's got a massive root system. These are in containers, So what I'll do is start throwing a lot of kitchen scraps and leaves from the garden in that big white container, and then if they come back from all the food that will be breaking down in there, that would be great, and then I'll keep them. If they don't, I'll plant something new. Let me swing you over here. That's sweet potato down there. I didn't plant it. It came up on its own. And this is also, you know, Swiss chard that came up on its own. There's my lemon balm I bought. I just sat it out here right now. I don't know where I'm going to plant it. Oh, I can't lift it. It has set root. That's interesting. Okay, it's set root. For now, I'm not going to bother it till I figure out what I want to do, and I'll probably take some cuttings off of it. It's a radish or a turnip back there, if you can see it, because we ate one. I think it was a big radish, so it was quite good. We had 2 of them. But this is just, you know, like tubs that are growing, sprouting broccoli and different things. I haven't changed anything yet. At least, you know, I'll swing you this way. See, we got more pots of water. Sweet potato. I don't think it's regular. No, this is all sweet potato. Somebody asked me, well, regular potatoes, russets, or whatever grow in your compost bin? Yes, they will. They'll grow in there because I try to not grow them and they end up growing in there. So they'll grow from the skins. And I've had even ubes grow that way. They'll just from the skin. So if they have enough nutrition and there's an eye there or someplace where the growth can come through on the skin, they'll grow. And that's what happened with the sweet potato. So the sweet potato started to grow. I did look around down there, and there we do have, let me see if I can, oh, I see. No, I don't know. I saw that there was sweet potato. I'm not going to dig it up right now, but there are sweet potatoes in there, and I should dig them up. Because I would rather get the sweet potatoes out, maybe move some of the walking onions, leave this walking onion because it's in a container, put some kitchen scraps, leaves from the garden, and build this up and get something else in there. So, but I can't do anything until after Christmas. All right, this is strawberry. Strawberry mint, isn't that something? Strawberry mint doesn't be affected by weather or anything. Actually, that's chocolate mint over there. So my chocolate mint's doing good. And again, beans, and look, they are flowering. I just push beans around and they grow. So that's really good. This zucchini is done, or hybrid zucchini, it's done. I will end up pulling that out and composting the trunk of the plant. And then back there, I've got garlic chives growing, which come up from seed everywhere. I don't believe I even planted it. It just came up and I let it grow. Sage, celery, this stuff has never been redone. There is some parsley back there too, I see. This is all walking onion. There's still some little ones that are walking. And it's probably because the warmth of the wall kind of threw it off, so it walked later than everybody else. See, there's more. Oh, and it threw a long one. I didn't even notice. See? So the walking onion on the end of it threw another walking onion. So I'll have to get that out and plant it. Look at all the beans. I have to collect these beans and replant them. Someday I'll eat the beans. My daughter came and picked a lot of beans. She's the one that used the beans more than me. Okay, we're not going to have a lot of the solar pumps going right now because let me show you. We have clouds. So the clouds are coming and going. I don't know if we'll have rain. And we'll see if we have rain. I should be happy about rain. But we got our roof, not our roof, my daughter's roof is leaking. And of course, we got to get that fixed. So long story short, we're going to have to fix that. So rain in that respect is not making me happy, but we do need the rain. Tree colored down there. And then of course, my field of colored that came up. Look at that. Is that cute? I have to stop for that. Those little birds are the cutest things. I just love them. And it's right in front of me, 2 feet from me. All right, so I've got colored. I've got more mint. This is spearmint. And you can see the spearmint is dying back. And once I have time, I think I'm going to trim these things that are sticking up in the air because you don't want to trip on this. I'll trim it down and have a little bit more control. Am I taking it out of the ground? Of course not. Because when I have time, I really got to make mint tea today. When I have time, I make mint tea every day, and Gary loves it. And it's just so good for you, too. So I will trim this back. My eggplant, I've been pulling off all the eggplant. As soon as I see them, I pull them off here. A little bit sparse. We had, like I said, a little bit of a windstorm and a lot of rain. But I've been pulling the purple ones off, and I am cooking them. I'm grilling them in the house. They're so good. More beans coming up. Tomato. Look at this tomato plant. Isn't that amazing? Tomatoes everywhere. We really do seem to get more tomatoes now than we do in the summer. That's really interesting. Look at that tree color. Gary is going to stake that for me. He's got some errands to do today, actually going to my daughter's roof. And then he's going to come back and he's going to stake that better because we don't want to lose it because it could snap. I did stake my purple curly kale up and it's doing okay. It's got the masking tape holding it. I could use pipe cleaner, but I could put pipe cleaner on top of the tape if I want to, but it works. Look at me, look at all the tape. There's a plant that's pretty much long gone, yet the tape is still there. So, and this is going through rain, this is going through watering. Oh, I see more tomatoes. Oh, and the tomatoes are growing on the other side of the wall too. So the tape has worked great for me. I have no problems with the tape, no matter what the weather is. But that is a tree collard back there, and that one's big too, but that one is staked up on the fence there. So that's what's holding that. And then of course, this is the 3-tier tub, kind of the center, kind of sunk in a little bit. And that's what happens. People ask me, do you do anything else to it? Well, when the new season's coming, and if you're not growing flowers in it, you know, you're growing your vegetables in it, yes, add in more vegetable matter, kitchen scraps, leaves, just put it on top. Don't mix it, put it on top. Because the soil gets compacted and goes down because the plants are using all the minerals and anything they need out of it, and it just compacts a little bit. But by layering new leaves on top, it's like you're starting fresh. You don't need to go buy plant food or anything. Those yellow leaves that are falling off, and I try not to throw any of those away. That's food for your plants. So you're going to start all over. So I will be refilling this up. I'll see what happens in the next month or two, because this is another purple sprouting broccoli. No broccoli on it. But, you know, like I said, the leaves are perfect. And I think this is another one. And then, of course, I've got my Dazzling blue kale. So I'm going to freshen it up. That's probably the best way to explain it. I will be freshening it up. And there's some green beans that I let go too long. These are, I don't know if they taste that good. I'm just going to keep collecting the seeds and plant them all over and try to make a point of doing something with the green beans. And I do pick them periodically and put them in soup and different things. So we'll get that staked up. Let me get through my collard field. Look at the size of the leaves. They're like elephant ears. Look at this. Look at how big they are. Look. There is a little bit of powdery mildew, but look at, if you were going to cook it, see how this comes right off? You just wash it right off. Look at that. It's more from me watering or the rain. It gets that. It's not going to hurt you. Just wash it off. You don't want to use it? Compost it. Don't throw it away. Compost it. Because powdery mildew is living on the live plant. It's not going to live on it when it's dead. Okay, let's swing over here. Kind of sad looking, isn't it? No, I've got some chocolate mint in there, and then of course some more of the purple. And then this one broke off or something happened to it, and now it's sending all these shoots. I could take all this off this dinosaur kale and grow all these plants as new plants. And then of course I've got, oh, this is all flat leaf parsley. Look at that. Seeded itself and it's just growing really good. And a lot of this is celery. It's all gone to seed. I don't have any designated place I want to grow the celery, so I haven't really collected any seed. Because let it do its thing and I'll see if I want it there. Because it ends up all over and then I move things. And this is the papaya tree, which will be a year, what, in the spring? Is that amazing? In a container. I haven't pulled any more out yet. And I really should. It's not that important. But I want to get some trees going and some more papayas going. There's all these things. My mind, it's like always thinking what I want to do, what I want to do. So I'm trying to think of different places I want to grow trees. Look at back there. That container does need to be freshened up. But look how big the blue Dazzling kale is. I don't know if I can get back here. Look how big. This thing is huge, the leaves. I mean, normally you get these little plants with blue Dazzling kale, but the leaves are massive. And then, of course, there is my collard. See, it's like a jungle of collard down there. Look at the way it grew. It busted through that pot, and it took off everywhere. I never planted in that one. I ran out of time. I never planted in that one either. And I really didn't get much to these either. This was a problem in this corner because the Moringa tree had so much shade developed from this. So I couldn't really get a lot growing. So I kind of have to reanalyze as summer sets in, or I should say spring, I will reanalyze it and see what exactly I want to plant in this corner. Tomatoes are doing great. Maybe I want to get more tomatoes. I'm not sure. I'll kind of see what happens then, but I've got plenty of time. And then over here, I've got some squash seeds trying to grow, but it's the wrong time of the year. So it can try, but it's not going to really do anything. And see, the tomato plant is even trying to grow. This was a cutting. And that's what I'm saying. If you've got tomato plants you like now, and even if you're in the snow, hopefully it's not snowing yet, get your cuttings in the house and they'll kind of freeze up. They won't really do anything. The plants will kind of go, I don't want to say dormant, but they just won't grow, and they'll look like they're stunted. But when you get them out in the spring, whenever your weather is warm enough to plant outside, they'll just take off. It may take a little time. They'll set a new root system going, and they will take off. So save the best of the best, whether it's seeds or cuttings. Try with cuttings, because I had a friend that put them in his living room. He grew tomatoes in his living room, and then he put the plant outside and it continued to grow once he planted it in the spring. This is the other container. See, I've got a squash that's trying, but it's just too cold. Squash really does need warm weather. So it's too cold. It's trying. It's got a lot of nutrition in there, and it might be a little bit warmer being in a container, but it's not really doing good. Oh, let's see. What was I talking about? Moringa. Okay. I have pulled 4 seeds off. And out of the 4 seeds in a week and a half, I believe there are 3. 2 have come through, and I see the 3rd one this morning. And that's pretty good considering it's cold. So I guess they're going to do good. So maybe we will have seeds. I'm going to let Gary harvest that. I have too much to do right now. But we'll have to start getting the seed pods off. Look how big the pods are. We didn't eat any. Can you eat them? Yes, the whole tree's edible, pretty much. But when you want to eat the pods, you want to pick them when they're small. They taste really good when they're small and green. When you let them get this big, they don't taste good. But I've got to do some more research, because it looks like that when the seeds turn brown, you can eat the seeds too, which I haven't really tried the seed. I asked Gary yesterday, he said, I didn't know that. I said, I just read you can eat the seeds. So we'll have to see. I don't have time to try anything right now. I barely have time to hold my camera. And you know what? It bothers me, because I'd rather be playing around and doing my camera and talking to everybody than working on a computer. But anyways, okay, I digress. Papayas are doing good. There's that little one I pulled out from let me swing around over here. I pulled it out of that bin. I talked about it in my last video. Just yanked the thing out. And then I brought it over here, dug a hole. There is no bottom on that pot. I cut the bottom off, or at least most of it. I threw kitchen scraps in the hole, some leaves, and then I planted that, let me see, this papaya. I can uncover it right now, give it a little bit of room. The rabbit, something was knocking it around, so I threw some tulle around it. But it seems to be doing okay. I mean, it's been months now, so it's not dead. So we'll see what happens. It's got to set a root system, because when I pulled it, there wasn't much under it. So the first thing any plant's got to do is set a root system. Even like seeds, like avocado seeds. If you put an avocado seed in a pot, you may not see it for 3 or 4 or 5 months. And you think the seed is dead and rotted away, and it's not. It's growing a root system. So some plants grow a root system before they come up. So be aware of that. Not always is it gone and dead. Depends on the plant, depends on the time of the year, it depends on the weather. If it's warm or cold, things of course seem to grow faster when it's warmer than when it's cold. Look at all the papayas. I cannot believe this. I would never have believed 4 years ago if somebody told me, you're going to grow papayas. I thought, yeah, right. We are growing tons of papayas. Oh, see, the pomegranates are turning yellow. They're going to lose their leaves. And so's the other one over there. That's going yellow. And this one still has papayas. We'll see what happens. See, I believe that's an avocado pit that came up in the center. That has a bottom. So I don't know what I'm going to do. And those are 2 little orange seeds that came up in the compost I put in there. I just left it. It's kind of dormant. Look at all the beans. That's growing under the bird cage. Out here, everything gets to it. The rabbits, the skunk. We have a skunk. He hasn't seemed to get into my garden right now, but the skunk roams around here and they'll eat a lot of greens. Now let's go over to the wall. Okay, now I'm at the wall. Of course, I haven't done anything. That's going to all be redone. The Swiss chard, the red and green one, is still growing. Again, I've got squash that's trying, but it's just the wrong time of the year for it. But we do have tomatoes. We've been picking lots of tomatoes. Look at all the tomatoes there. See the tomatoes? And a baby lizard back there too. And he's hugging that wall because this wall here is warm. Any sunlight that gets on that wall, those bricks, those cement blocks, they will hold the heat. So we have lots of tomatoes through here. And of course, this Moringa is doing good. And this one's got all its leaves still. Where the other one lost its leaves and concentrated on the pods, this one has a lot of leaves. And this one brings still a lot of hummingbirds, but look at the size of these pods. So we're going to have a lot. I have not taken any seeds from this one yet. I only took from the other one, and the other one's doing good. The seeds are growing. Again, in my compost bins, I still have squash seeds trying to grow. Wrong time of the year. I will tell you what's interesting is if any of these plants make it through the winter here, they'll take off in the spring. But it doesn't matter. I have so many seeds. So I'll plant something else. And the cucumber plant's pretty much done, but we did just pick some cucumbers. I don't know if there's any more underneath. There might be. But we did pick some cucumbers, so we had cucumbers the other day. This eggplant, look at that. I did see a rabbit come and pick one the other day. Look at this. It's kind of a purple and white. See if I can get you down here to see this. Look at that. This plant is full. This plant came up from seed. So I'm not sure where it came from or if it hybridized. A while ago, it's been, I'm going to say 2 years ago or so, I bought a tray, I think it was Home Depot, of a mixed tray of eggplant. So there was like 3 different types in it. 6 plants, 2, 2, and 2. And the plants, most of them didn't really make it. The purple one did, of course. And then, of course, it reseeded, so I have them growing all over the garden. But one of these must have made it, and somehow some seeds got here, because I did have different eggplant. So this one ended up growing on its own here, and I do want to keep some seeds on this. This plant is doing really good here. Again, probably because the wall is warm. Look at that. This plant is so happy here. And it tastes good. It's just as good as the purple. I've been cooking this too. And so I definitely want to keep this going. So I am going to be collecting some seeds from this. I think I let one go yellow in here. And when it gets really, yeah, here it is. Because it was probably ready to come off a while ago. So I will pick the yellow one. I will sit it on the counter and leave it. I will let the seeds mature in it. And once I think it's ready, I'll slice it open and I'll get some more planted. All right, let's go to the truck bed. Now we're at the truck bed. Don't expect anything different because I haven't been doing much in here. This went to seed. This is that really, really red Swiss chard. So we have 3 different types of Swiss chard growing in here. We've got the green. We've got the green and red. See where the stems are red and the leaves are green, but the veins of the leaves are red. And then we've got these that are just so red. Look at them, just so red. So this is really good. I'm going to leave it this way, but I do plan on growing a lot more things. Look at the seeds trying to come up. Those are all baby Swiss chard growing. They're seeding itself because a lot of the seeds have fallen. Then, of course, I've got walking onion growing in here and garlic chives. So I'm going to see what I'm going to do here in the spring. Not sure, but I'll do something with it. And then, of course, it falls all over the ground and they sprout and the rabbits eat it all, but I threw a cage on top. See what a cage can do? So if you've got a cover or something, you can grow all you want. Look how big this is. I don't want to pull it off right now, but see, you get the idea. Let me see. See how big those plants are? So you could throw something on top if you're growing in an area that's not protected from your wildlife. And it's perfect to use. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And then, of course, there is that avocado tree. I am leaving it. I've got a viewer that loves that avocado tree. So we'll see what happens. It's not bothering me. I'm going to put some containers in there and try growing differently in here. I may even for fun try to grow some spaghetti squash again. All right, let's do one other thing. Let's walk down the Gary's garden. Okay, now we're down to where Gary's garden is. See, mine's on the top and Gary's is down below. So what's going on here? He's still moving wood chips. He's got his guamachils growing along here. He's planning on putting him even in a lot more guamachils. He loves the guamachils. He's also going to be working more with fruit trees, and he has to protect them. We have deer that come in here. We've talked about that before, and the deer really devastated his trees. And he was really upset. They not only ate all the apples off, but they just chewed up the trees. They actually pretty much demolished that one. It is coming from the bottom, but he said it's right above the graft. So we may be able to save that apple tree, but these deer love these trees. So he's either going to fence it in, and I never did try the tool. As you all know, I use the tool. The tool works wonders because most of your animals don't like it. Now, I have no idea what deer would do if they ran in the tool. I personally don't have to deal with deer in my garden. But, you know, it's worth a try. It doesn't cost that much. Literally pennies. So we'll see what happens when the trees start growing a little better, when spring comes, because they're going to lose a lot of their leaves and go semi-dormant. I might come down here myself and wrap some tulle. I mean, it's cheap enough to just wrap the whole blessed tree right now. They're small enough. And see, maybe they don't like the feel of it. I don't know if they'll come and grab it and pull it off, or mice, rats, raccoons, skunks. They don't want to touch it. Squirrels, they don't want to touch it because they think it's a trap. But I don't know what deer will do. I'm going to try it. It depends on the deer itself. Now look at this. He's making compost tea. See, and then he's feeding his trees. But he's saying the trees right now are struggling for the roots. So he's redoing a lot of this. But, and then of course that's all asparagus that are growing. And that, the rabbits do not eat. That's very interesting. We need to do a video. We didn't research anything. We found out why the rabbits won't go near it, which is amazing. I'm going to experiment with asparagus coming up and seeing if I can keep a lot of critters away. But anyways, we'll have to see what happens on keeping critters out and see if he can get rid of the deer. And that's pretty much it. Let me walk into his garden. I'm not doing a garden tour today. He's not here right now. He's running an errand. But I just figured I would make a circle today because I thought I was going to keep this short. So I don't know. I'll have to see what happens. He's changing up this whole area here. I see he's fixing up doing something he's building with the pool. He's going to take some of my pools from my front yard because I want to go more into straight containers. I love my containers. The pools were kind of shallow. It worked. I grew a lot. But he's got ideas what he wants to do with pools. So I told him, take my pools. I don't need it. This is all his different types of sweet potatoes. And then, of course, back there you see all he's got tree collards and those greens growing. Apparently he's moving a lot of that because he's changing things up in here too. But he's got, of course my dogs don't know who I am. But anyways, he's got lemon verbena growing there. He's got red Swiss chard, green Swiss chard. He's got tree colored, I think I already said that. And he's got different things growing there. I think he's got some potatoes growing in there, it looks like, from here. And then, of course, more sweet potatoes. Here's his ubes. Ubes are still growing. They're growing all the way to the top. So he'll probably be harvesting that later on. Look at his purple kale. Is that curly kale? I'm not sure what the name of this one is. I know the blue Dazzling kale has the flatter leaf. But look at this. Is this amazing? This is a hot tub. We've talked about it, that he picked up at a yard sale for $20 a few years ago. Dragged that thing home, and is that amazing? Look at that. And they've got to be 8 feet tall. Gosh, or taller. So I'm just flabbergasted over that. And then he's got his refrigerator over there. But what I wanted to come down and do is I want to stick beans in his garden. He's not home. So I'm going to stick some beans around, and then we can come back in a couple weeks and see if they're growing. So let me get the beans out. You know, it doesn't cost me anything. The beans are out of my garden. I carry all kinds of things in my pocket shirts. So I've got beans in my pocket shirt. I've got masking tape in my pocket shirt. But I'm going to stick some beans around here, just see if they grow. Oh, he's got his purple mustard. And just push them in. You know, if they grow, they grow. These are his peanut plants. Oh, it's really hard, that soil. What I should have brought was a shovel with me. But, oh, wow. Yeah, that soil's too hard. You know, I'll put some in here. Maybe he needs to throw some more leaves and stuff in there. He'll be surprised. They'll grow right up the stalks of a lot of these kale. Here he's got celery. I think I gave him that plant. Here, well, yeah, just over there it was hard. So we'll plant a bunch and see what happens. My hands are always dirty. Oh, my hands either have dirt on them or ink. I'm always cleaning my printers, and then I end up with ink. Oh, I just dropped another seed, dropped a couple more. See, just stick them around. That's what I do in my garden. I just stick them around and then they grow. I love when I stick seeds around and then I can't. Oh, look at this. He's got a little dill growing. I'll stick another one here. And we'll stick another one here. They're really good because they feed the soil too, beans. So beans are really, really good to plant. Oh yeah, and grow here. But this has nothing to climb on. They really want to climb. Maybe I'll just stick some. I know he's going to redo this. You know what? He doesn't have time to redo this. So I am going to stick some right inside here among his sweet potatoes. And they will bypass the sweet potatoes and they'll climb up the sweet potatoes if they make it. I'm just going to put a whole bunch in here. And hopefully some of them make it. Because it's really wet. We're supposed to get a little bit more rain. I'm going to have people screaming, why are you doing this? No, I did ask him if it was okay, and he said he didn't care, which means he doesn't care, right? All right, and let's see, where else do I've got a few more left. I don't want to put it around this pond, but you know what? This is getting quite a bit of sun here. So let's put a little bit more here. What's going to happen is these strange things are going to start coming up, and no, you know what? The ground is too hard here. So I think I will find another place. Do I want to put one around this pond? I don't know. Maybe I should look at the sweet potato that grew. All this grew around this pond. This is sweet potato. I guess I have nothing to lose. If he doesn't want it, he can just pull it out. It's not going to take anything from the soil. I'll put it next to his turmeric. He's got, oh, actually, I don't know. This might be ginger. This is ginger. I should know that. Look how beautiful. Look at the ginger coming out of the ground. I have one more. And I'll just stick it here. Okay. Now we've kind of walked around his garden, stuck some seeds in. I should do this more often. And that's it. Look how beautiful it is. It's the whole field of green, and these are all different types of sweet potatoes he bought. He's got all kinds of, I don't know the names. Our chickens are doing good. We've got the 7 chickens. I want to make a video on how to make a cheap brooder. I could not believe my friend is raising a chicken and he's using a 250 watt bulb system for one baby chick. I am not. I'm raising the chickens like I did 45 years ago with an old brooder, and I'm going to show you how to make a brooder. This would be for somebody that is going to raise a couple chickens for themselves. They could raise 5, 7 chickens, 10 chickens. And this brooder, the electricity is next to nothing. The chickens love it, and it's so easy to make. So I hope to get that one up after Christmas. So if anybody's thinking about getting chickens and they don't have a brooder and they don't want to spend $100 for a brooder, I couldn't believe the prices of brooders. Little nothing brooders. They want $70, $80, $90. My friend didn't have that kind of money, so he went and he got a chicken. My daughter got him the chicken. Everybody needed chickens, according to her. And I couldn't believe when I was talking to him and he's telling me, oh yeah, a 250 watt bulb. I said, what are you doing? He said, well, he hung it up and it's dangling over, and no. And even Gary, when we got the chickens, Gary said, I guess I'm going to have to rig up a brooder. He forgot that I had this brooder because he has seen it. Years ago, we raised guineas, and that was a long time ago. about 20 years ago, and I keep everything. I don't throw anything away. I don't want to say I'm a hoarder, but I do keep things, and I know where things are. So he asked me, I said, oh, I've got it in the cupboard. He said, we have a brooder? I said, yeah. So I ran and got it. My brooder is like 40, this is terrible. It's like 40, 45 years old, and it's going strong. And I'll get a video together because I'm sure there'll be some people that might get a couple chickens. Perfect to use for your chickens. In fact, Gary once put a video together on how to make his brooder. So he's going to make a brooder, and we'll have different videos on how to make brooders. And really shouldn't cost you more than $10, if that. And some people, it won't cost them anything. The hardest thing has been getting the light bulb, but I actually found the light bulb, so it's no big deal. In fact, you can really get them at the hardware store, but I wanted a certain light bulb. But I'm not using a certain light bulb because I couldn't find it. I'm using my light bulb. So I promise, after the holidays, I will try to get that together, because I'm sure there are people that want to get a couple chickens. And I'm sure there's even people that have thought, oh, no, I don't want to go spend, some money for baby chicks and then have to spend $100 on a brooder that you're only going to use for, a month or two, if that. And it's a lot of money. And if you're not planning on raising chickens, it's a lot of money to put out right in the beginning. So I promise I'm going to get this up. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's an old system and it works. And with that, I think I made this too long. So with that, have a great day, and please don't forget to eat what you grow. And I'm sorry if I sound like I was in a rush, but like I said, I gotta go do my Christmas orders, and my mailman's gonna be here because thank goodness they come pick up my mail, so that saves me time. Have a great day. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye, everybody.